With more than a decade of experience in policy, I've learned how disappointing it can be to put your faith in institutions and parties. And that's why I find it so refreshing to be a person of faith. Quakers being grounded deeply in faith is an enormous asset and opens a lot of doors. My name is José Santos Woss. I live in Baltimore, Maryland, Charm City, USA. I attend Homewood Friends Meeting in Baltimore, although I became a member of Friends Meeting of Washington, and I'm the director for justice reform at the Friends Committee on National Legislation. I grew up Catholic, and obviously this isn't everyone's experience, but my experience was that it was very much heeding of dogma, of practices, of rituals, and it felt divorced from life. I didn't see a connection to improving the life of the person next to me. That stands in stark contrast to what I see Quakerism as. Quakerism really is life breathing into faith and faith breathing into life. It guides what I do, how I approach life, what I think. It really does inform the prism through which I approach policy. It guides and informs so much of what I do, and I find it such a powerfully simple and strong theology to live by. I've learned a lot of lessons for how this world, and our society in particular, leaves countless people behind. One of the ways that it does that is low levels of economic mobility, poverty, addiction, and how we treat mental health and mental illness. All of this is the root cause of crime. And as opposed to dealing with those problems, we try to contain it and lock it away in a cage. All this reform really has to be a mitigation of harm. We have to do less of it because the systems that we've propped up do tremendous harm. Putting people in cages, solitary confinement, over-policing and under-policing where there's problems of violence in certain communities and police don't respond. We have to do less of that and more of things that actually help people, alleviate poverty, give services to help with addiction treatment, help with the continuum of care to address people's mental health needs. So I think it has to be those two parts. It has to be doing less of what we're doing, which is harm, through mass incarceration and over-policing and militarized policing, and more of what works to address the root cause of those problems. Quakers are pretty white. That comes with quite a bit of power and privilege. A Quaker in Omaha, Nebraska is going to have probably more weight in what they say to a legislator than a Black Lives Matter activist in Brooklyn, New York. I think there's a need for Quakers to step out of their meeting and away from a lot of these phenomenal institutions that they've created and speak to individuals in an interfaith setting from Black churches or Black Lives Matter and have a cross-cultural understanding of what that experience is like, because you'll find that it's very different. And I think the more we can do of that, the more effective we'll be in addressing these problems. And these exchanges and fusion coalitions are what I think it's going to take not only for Friends to be effective in dismantling these systems of racism, classism, and white supremacy in American society, but also for all of us to do better with addressing these problems in our country.
Thanks for watching this QuakerSpeak video. We release a new video every other Thursday. You can watch all our videos in this playlist here. You can subscribe to our channel by clicking this button here. You can support us through our Patreon here. Thanks again for watching, and have a happy Thursday.